Ready?
Yep.
Good evening. Welcome to the May 17th Joliet City Council meeting. If we could all please stand for the invocation along with the Pledge of Allegiance presented by Pastor David Jasper from the Ridgewood Baptist Church.
That's great. We thank you, Heavenly Father, for the wonderful privilege we have to live in this great city. Thank you for our mayor and for the council members, for our city officials, and for all the hard work that they do to provide for us a wonderful place to live, a wonderful place to raise our families, a wonderful place to serve you. Thank you for their focus on safety. I know the decisions tonight with all the roads and the challenges, it's not a fun thing, but thank you for the willingness to take care of these issues. And so we give you praise that in your word you teach us that if we lack wisdom, we are invited to look to you to receive the wisdom that we need. So tonight, would you grant wisdom to these proceedings, and would you continue to bless our community? And thank you for our great nation. Protect us during these difficult days. We ask all of this in Jesus' name and for his sake. Amen.
Amen.
First pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Pastor. Could be better.
We'll begin with roll call. Mayor Odekirk.
Here.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Here.
Councilman Girl.
Here.
Councilman Hug.
Here.
Councilman McFarland.
Here.
Councilman Morris.
Here.
Councilman Mudrin.
Here.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Here.
Councilman Turk.
Here.
First on the agenda is a presentation, Relay for Life. Michelle Pruitt, Community Manager, Relay for Life, is here presenting the Joliet Relay Awards and promoting the upcoming relay. If you could come forward, please.
Hello, Council. Thank you for having us tonight. First of all, I'd like to present you from our 2015 Relay for Life. We received the All-American Relay Award. So I just want to present this to you for our city of Joliet, and we're very proud to have this award.
Excellent. Thank you.
We'd also like to present, out of the hundreds of teams for the Relay for Life in the state of Illinois, the Joliet Relay was number 4 with revenue, and we raised over $202,000 for the American Cancer Society last year.
We are the event leads for the event. I am Julie Sturr. This is Patty Adler and Jenny Adler, and we appreciate your having us here. I'd also like to thank the mayor. He is going to come out to our opening ceremonies and speak, and if you could all come out and see what we're doing out there, it's June 4th at noon, and support the mayor as he leads off the beginning of the Relay for Life.
All right.
Great. Thank you, Julie.
Thank you.
You could stay up here, please, for a moment. We have a proclamation next for you proclaiming June 2016 as Relay for Life Days in Joliet.
In case I missed the mayor at noon, he wanted me to speak for him today. So, proclamation. Whereas Relay for Life is the signature fundraising event for the American Cancer Society that celebrates cancer survivors, anyone who has been diagnosed with cancer and remembers the loved ones we have lost to the disease. Whereas the American Cancer Society Relay for Life brings a community together to take up the fight against cancer. Whereas the money raised during the Relay for Life of Joliet helps support research, patients, services, education, and advocacy. Whereas the Relay for Life helps fund more than $200 million in cancer research each year. And in total, the American Cancer Society has invested more than $4.3 billion in cancer research since 1946. Now there, I, Robert Odekirk, Mayor of the City of Joliet, on behalf of Joliet City Council, hereby proclaim the month of June 2016 as Relay for Life in Joliet.
Thank you so much.
Exciting.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you all very much.
you, guys.
Thank you.
Next under Mayor's Mayor Odekirk appointments, the mayor is recommending Rick Rash be appointed to the Joliet Pension Board.
So moved.
Second?
To motion and seconded to approve, Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Girl.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman McFarland.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilman Turk.
Aye.
Motion carried. Citizens to be heard on agenda items. Is there anyone here that would like to speak on an agenda item this evening? Now would be the time. Seeing none. Next is the approval of the agenda. Is there a motion to approve the agenda as written?
So moved.
Second.
Been motion and seconded to approve. Councilman Girl.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman McFarland.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilman Turk.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council committee reports, Economic Development Committee report.
In the economic development, we had a meeting, what was it,
Thursday.
Thursday? And the main two items that we had, which I'm not going to take up as much time as I did last time, folks, in attendance was myself, Councilman Morris, and Councilman Mudrin. We had updates, and we had updates on the Crab and Gales restaurant, which will now appear on the agenda as far as moving forward on approving some items. And we had an update on the, we looked at the Crab and Gales, I believe, Steve, we looked at the Crab and Gales plans to finish the building, the new company.
Well, it first has to go ZBA for special use and for variation tomorrow, I believe it's tomorrow, Thursday, excuse me. And then at some point, if there's favorable recommendations coming forward, it'll most likely hit the council agenda by June.
Okay, and then we also talked about the Grand Ballroom RFQ that was sent out. It was sent out, if I remember correctly, to 71 companies that have been invited to respond. The deadline is May 23rd. 27th, May 27th. And the good news on that, too, was they've determined there's 7 folks, 7 brides and grooms that were scheduled to have their wedding or reception there after the current caterer leaves in January of 2017, and 5 have been accommodated in other manners. So there's only 2 left that are still kind of hanging out a little bit, and everybody's trying to work on that. Other than that, we did talk about an expansion of an SSA in regards to the downtown SSA to create more money for economic development. And we're looking for approval, not of the SSA, but the approval to move forward on the process, meet with the business owners, and move forward on public input. And also, it was noted that it really might be, and Councilman Quillman, you're going to enjoy this, after all these years, you've mentioned that life, quality of life study that was done for districts 4 and 5. This would be a step in that direction. Maybe a small one, but a first one finally.
Finally.
So
Thanks.
certainly the city staff is going to move forward on exploring that option of expanding the SSA. And that's pretty much it. Other than that, there was some housekeeping, nothing exciting. I don't know if Terry or Pat have anything to add?
Just that it was a good report for the compliance code people on Jefferson Street and Larkin Avenue that the city has been enacting.
Thanks, Pat. I had forgotten about that. Right, they did report that we're pretty much done with the targeted area on the Larkin corridor, and we're working our way to finish up on the Jefferson corridor, and there was only 4 tickets. The compliance was so agreeable with the business owners, they only issued 4 tickets. Excellent. So that's thank you, Pat. That's all I have.
Finance Committee report.
Your Honor, the Finance Committee met this afternoon at 5:15. Councilman Girl, Councilman Mudrin, and myself. We had a few things on the agenda. The first thing we wanted to talk about was the volume cap, the 2016 volume cap, and I asked Alfredo Malesio to come up and kind of give a brief synopsis of what that's all about.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, at a council meeting in April, the mayor and city council approved the ceding of Joliet's volume cap to the city of Aurora to bundle with the Stern Brothers so that they could offer down payment assistance and mortgage credit certificates to residents in our community. That matter is always goes before the Finance Committee for review annually. It is already approved, but I gave a report today that showed how in 2015 there was about $2 million of that volume cap that it was utilized by local residents to buy houses. The average household that purchased, the average value of a home for single-family homes was about $118,000, and we had a nice little map showing that. And so we do that annually. There was a couple of questions about, you know, are the 14 million that we cede to Aurora, whether or not we see that in return dollars. We see 2 million of it. And in previous years, during the housing boom and when there was a lot of sales going on, we never really, if we did exceed the 14 million, we basically took it from other communities that had ceded volume cap to the same down payment assistance program. So it's 3% cash on down payment that's provided to first-time home buyers. And also they have this certificate that they can take a tax incentive from their annual taxes every year. So it's a great program that you continue to support annually.
Thank you, Alfredo. We also reviewed the monthly financial reports, the personnel summaries, travel expense, and invoices paid reports, found them all to be in order and recommend their approval.
Thank you.
Public Service Committee report.
Public Service Committee met yesterday. Public Service Committee is comprised of Councilwoman Gavin, Councilman Hug, and myself. Couple items that I'd like to bring attention to is one that I know Councilwoman Gavin did the happy dance yesterday in committee.
Still doing that.
With the aggressive bidding process, we were able to add an additional $257,000 of resurfacing projects for this year in 2016 due to bids coming in below estimated cost. So this evening, we are going to be approving 11 additional streets for resurfacing. There is an amendment, a revised memo in front of us, replacing Martin Court with Clare Road. So I just want to thank Jim Trisman and his staff for going out there and identifying which streets needed to have a resurfacing done and prioritizing them. And that's why I think you see a change on this one. The second thing, Jim, and not to put you on the spot, but I think something to bring to everybody's attention, over the last, I would say about a year, there was a lot of construction between this stretch of roadway. But there's some good news because there's some MFT funds available that we're going to start widening from Jefferson Street to Black Road, Essington Road. So Jimmy, want to just give a little bit of a synopsis on what's happening there and then when you anticipate construction to start and finish?
Sure. First of all, what the project would entail would be to widen out Essington Road between Jefferson and Black to have an additional center turn lane, which we currently do not have. We only have that at the intersection at Jefferson, at Glenwood, and up at Black Road. So all those cross streets in between, we have basically kind of modified the existing pavement width, which is pretty narrow. It's only 50 foot of pavement. We've narrowed it up to try to accommodate a turn lane, but it really doesn't meet our current standards. So what we're looking at doing is widening basically about 6 feet on each side of the road to add an additional center lane on that stretch of roadway. What we're doing at this point now is hiring a consultant civil engineer to design, go through the phase one design, go through all the environmental impacts, the drainage impacts, and get us in line so the city is able to receive STP funding from the Will County Governmental League. We currently do not have it, but we know when you get your project farther along, when you actually have phase one just about approved, very good chance you'll get this STP funding. We're hoping that the next cycle, which would be in 2 years from now, 2018, we should get the funding. The reality is, the soonest this project would go, because we're trying to get this again, and to back up, the STP funding would cover about 80% of the construction cost. The city would pay 20%. So obviously we want to stretch our city dollars as far as we can. So the reality is, this project, construction-wise, assuming we get the funding the next round, it's probably more like a 2019 construction project. But we're taking the initial steps now to get our engineering, the first phase engineering in place, and then go forward from there.
Thank you. Larry, Betty, anything to add? No. That concludes our report.
I show no other reports. Under consent agenda, approval of minutes. It's recommended the minutes of the pre-council meeting held on May 2nd, 2016, and of the regular meeting held on May 3rd, 2016, stand approved as recorded. Invoices paid report. It is recommended this report be received and placed on file. Council Memo 224-16, position vacancies. It's recommended the city manager be authorized to fill one housing finance specialist position in the Community and Economic Development Department. Council Memo 225-16, the 2016 Additional Deteriorated Roadway Resurfacing Program. It's recommended this program be approved. Council Memo 226-16, regular payroll for March 4th through March 17th, 2016, $3,125,406.23. Council Memo 227-16, regular payroll for March 18th through March 31st, 2016, $3,225,731.55. And Council Memo 228-16, regular payroll for April 1st through April 14th, 2016, $3,122,937.04. It's recommended said regular payrolls be approved. Is there a motion to approve said consent agenda items?
So moved.
Second.
A motion and seconded to approve. Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman McFarland.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman.
Aye.
Councilman Turk.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Girl.
Aye.
Motion carried. Next, under public hearings, Council Memo 230-16, a public hearing approving the annexation of 38.406 acres located at the northeast corner of Laraway Road and Route 52. It is recommended this item be tabled to the July 19th, 2016 council meeting, though it is a public hearing, so any comments would be in order.
Does anyone wish to comment on this item?
Let the record show the public hearing has been closed. Is there a motion to table this item to the July 19th, 2016 council meeting?
So moved.
Second.
Been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman McFarland.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilman Turk.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Girl.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Motion carried. Under ordinances and resolutions, Council Memo 231-16 is an ordinance declaring certain properties as public nuisances. It is recommended said ordinance be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
Been motioned seconded to approve. Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilman Turk.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Girl.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman McFarland.
Aye.
Motion carried. Under resolutions, Council Memo 233-16, a resolution authorizing execution of an intergovernmental funding agreement between Joliet and Metra. It's recommended said resolution be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilman Turk.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Girl.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman McFarland.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 234-16 is a resolution appropriating funds for the Phase 1 engineering for the Essington Road US Route 52 to Black Road widening project. It's recommended said resolution be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
Been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilman Turk.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Girl.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman McFarland.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 235-16, a resolution appropriating funds for the Frank Avenue Roadway Improvements Project, 2016. It's recommended said resolution be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
Been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Turk.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Girl.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman McFarland.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 236-16, a resolution appropriating funds for the Phase 1 and Phase 2 engineering for the Washington Street over Hickory Creek Bridge Repair Project 2016. It's recommended said resolution be adopted.
So, second?
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Girl.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman McFarland. Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilman Turk.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 237-16 is a resolution appropriating funds for the Mason Avenue, Mayfield Avenue roadway improvement project. It's recommended said resolution be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Girl.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman McFarland.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilman Turk.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 238-16, a resolution authorizing payment to Excel Inc. for the city's share of the Rowell Avenue roadway improvements 2016. It's recommended said resolution be adopted.
Move to approve.
Second?
Been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman McFarland. Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilman Turk.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Girl.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 239-16, a resolution authorizing the acquisition of 314 Lawton Avenue. It's recommended said resolution be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
Been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman McFarland.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilman Turk.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Girl.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 240-16, a resolution authorizing a substantial amendment to the 2015 through 2019 Consolidated Plan. It's recommended said resolution be adopted.
So moved.
Second?
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman.
Aye.
Councilman Turk.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Girl.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
No.
Councilman McFarland.
Aye.
Motion carried, 7-1. Council Memo 241-16, resolution authorizing the sale of city-owned property for the adjacent property owner. It's recommended said resolution be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
Been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilman Turk.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Girl.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman McFarland.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Excuse me,
carried.
Mayor.
Yes.
Can we back up to 240? There was some misconception written in the Herald News today and also on WJOL this afternoon. And Jim Haller said he talked to the reporter last night extensively, and Alfredo was going to be here because not everybody exactly understands about the CDBG funds and how they're going to be appropriated, what they're going to be used. The concept out there is these monies are only going to be used for Evergreen Terrace, which is not the case.
Right. I thought it was said last night that that was one of the possible uses for the money.
Possible, but it was stated today and on the radio and in the newspaper that people got the impression that it was strictly going to be used for Evergreen Terrace. So we need to clarify that.
Yes, of course. We need to understand, too, that actually we were approached by Ray Willis, the director of HUD Chicago, and HUD actually paid for a consultant to come to the city and help us put together what's called, what you have before you, which is a Section 108 loan pool application to HUD. And so they are encouraging communities to develop a Section 108 loan pool locally so they could access CDBG funds for a myriad of projects. Now, because of our history with Evergreen Terrace, we wanted to make it clear in any publication that we do that Evergreen Terrace is a possibility. However, there's a lot of excitement around a lot of other possibilities in the community, like maybe a potential hospital project, things in the downtown, things on more historic corridors, a lot of the job creation activities that we talked about last evening that are all possibilities as well. if we want to do this right, I mean, we only have access, we only get to provide a loan pool to 5 times your allocation, which is about $4.6 million. For us, we would want to be looking towards larger projects to be able to assist those projects. And what it is it's a low-interest loan, sometimes competitive with some of the funds that we are able to secure. But it has recourse to our annual allocation. And so we wanted to make it clear that it could be used for Evergreen Terrace, but that's a decision that the mayor and city council will make at a future date, whether or not to use it for that, and whether or not to use it for any project that we bring before you, after they are properly underwritten according to the guidelines that we have.
Thank you.
So just to be clear, Mayor, to get it out there, we did not borrow $5 million just to renovate Evergreen Terrace. That is not what the money is for, but that's what's floating around out there, and I just wanted to clarify that. Thank you.
Mayor?
Yes.
But to be clear, and far be it from me to ever defend the media, it is the only project named. We've talked about it no less than a dozen times in the last 2 years that we're going to use the CDBG, particularly the money that they held back from us for Evergreen. So if everybody up here is amicable to saying that Evergreen will not get any of this money, I can change my vote. Can we do that?
At this point, there's no viable plan on the table. We tried last summer to come up with one, so. And seeing we still don't have access to the property, we're working with HUD. We think that's going to change, but at this point, I don't know, what the plans are for Evergreen. I don't think anybody does.
Next under bids and contracts, award of contracts. Council Memo 243-16, award of professional engineering services contract for the Phase 1 engineering for the Essington Road, US Route 52 to Black Road widening project. Council Memo 244-16, award of contract for the Frank Avenue roadway improvement project. Council Memo 245-16, award of professional engineering services contract for the Phase 1 and Phase 2 engineering for the Washington Street over Hickory Creek Bridge repair project. Council Memo 246-16, award of contract for the Mason Avenue, Mayfield Avenue roadway project. Council Memo 247-16, award of contract for the Republic Avenue water main improvement project 2016. It's recommended Council Memos 243 through 247-16 be approved.
So moved.
Second.
In motion and seconded to approve, Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilman Turk.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Girl.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye?
Councilman McFarland.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Motion carried. Amendments, change orders, and payments. Council Memo 249-16 approved change order number 3 and payment request number 6 and final for the 2015 MFT roadways resurfacing contract. And Council Memo 250-16 approve amendment number 5 to the professional services contract for the structural review and construction phase engineering for the Centerpoint Intermodal Center North Bridges structures. It's recommended Council Memos 249 and 250-16 be approved.
So moved.
Second.
Been motion and seconded to approve. Councilman Turk.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Girl.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye?
Councilman McFarland.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Motion carried. Next is the city manager's report.
No report.
Good job.
New business, not for final action or recommendation.
Business? Yes.
Just a quick question. Jim Trisna, when is the project on Essington and Caton going to start?
Yeah, that's the intersection improvement you're
Yeah, the
talking about, Larry?
widening and improvement.
Yes. There was a pre-construction meeting a week ago Monday, and they anticipate starting sometime in about middle or late June.
That's
But
all I wanted
we'll
to
get
know.
out, we'll get out a press release when it's official, when our contractor's officially ready to start.
Well, we're all enjoying the Caton Farm Bridge, so I just want to know when we can start enjoying the intersection.
This one won't be as bad. There's not a detour. This one, we're actually going to keep, traffic flowing into this area.
Thank you, Jim.
Thanks.
That's all.
Honor. Your Honor, if I may.
Yes.
One question. Jim, if you could take a look at 405 Landau. There is a tree that's pushing up the sidewalk. The residents are quite concerned about it. I called myself texting you a picture on it last week, but I texted to another gentleman. He said, however, beautiful picture, but wrong number. So, so if you would, have someone look at that. The tree is really pushing up the sidewalk there.
Okay, it's 405 Landau, you said?
Landau,
Okay,
405 Landau.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a couple items. Steve Jones and Jim Gadati, I was at a meeting last week for the Will County Governmental League, and they gave an update on basically what's happened in Springfield. The good news is, right now, there's nothing on the table about withholding local government distributed funds for the city, so that's a positive. The bad news, and I think we need to start preparing for it, is that once again, on July 1st, it appears we're going to be looking at our gaming money being withheld. At least that's what's being said right now. So obviously, we have people in Springfield, our local legislators are lobbying for this, lobbying to stop it. But assuming that we're in the predicament we were last summer, if we could start preparing for it, at least looking at contingencies, what happens if that gaming money is held back again. And then also, a couple weeks ago, I was at a neighborhood meeting out in the Center Point area with Councilwoman Quillman and Councilman Morris. At the meeting, Laraway School was brought up and the issues with the truck traffic at the times where the kids are being dropped off or picked up from school. I did have a meeting last week with Dr. Joel Salmieri, who is the principal of Laraway School, and then Chief Benton. Chief, a real quick update. We agreed at the meeting, I think all parties agreed that the police are going to basically go to school, speak with the staff at the school about how to handle the traffic problems.
Our traffic section has a program in place where they've taught school staff how to let the buses out in a timely flow. We've also assigned an additional officer to be there during egress to make sure that it's flowing properly. And from what I've heard, it's been going pretty well. So
Good. And you've done this in other schools, you've been successful?
we have, yes.
Thank you.
Regularly.
Next is public comments. Is there anyone that would like to speak under public comments this evening?
Yes, sir. Name and address, please.
Richard Henry, 3704 Appaloosa Drive. How you doing, Bobby?
Good. How are you?
My name is Richard Henry, and what I'm doing is I came to introduce myself because I'm trying to get a program together, a teen resort that provides recreation, entertainment, and training for teenagers between the ages of 14 to 20. And this is not for at-risk kids. This is for kids that's not in trouble. We want to try to put a program together to keep them from getting in trouble. And I want to work with all of, the city council people, some of the people in the community, and I've spoken with the mayor. He's agreed to work with me on it. We're going to be hosting a series of events to do fundraisers for the project because the project needs a lot of money. And it's a not-for-profit, it's a for-profit organization. So in order for us to get the money that we need, we're going to have to bootstrap and we're going to have to host events and things like that. So I'm going to be working with the mayor, try to get this done so that we can try to get this project together in the next year or so. So I'm here. I have a lot of ideas. I'm open to working with you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sounds like a great idea.
Anyone else that would like to speak? Seeing none, next is mayor and council comments.
Your Honor, couple of things. First, Your Honor, I want to certainly thank you for giving me the opportunity to represent our great city on Saturday morning. We were a little chilly, but but it was a great turnout. It was Operation Welcome You Home, and Air Force Captain Anthony Tony Simone, June of 2010, was shot down in Afghanistan on a rescue mission, suffered a traumatic brain injury at that time. And the organization, Operation Welcome You Home, presented Captain Simone and his lovely wife, Andrea, and their 2 children were at their brand new home over in Manhattan. And so we traveled from Joliet to Manhattan, and I was able to be accompanied with Mayor Balderman of New Lenox and Mayor Doyle of Manhattan. Absolutely fantastic event and celebration. I'm happy to say that Captain Simone is progressing really well due to the injuries that he's had. And his wife, Andrea, and those 2 children were just amazing. And so the community turned out. veterans on motorcycles and cars, the Joliet Police Department, Fire Department from all of our communities, Manhattan as well as New Lenox. So we had maybe about 300 people in the motorcade, and then got there to find that the town was just absolutely amazing with the flags and everything. So I thank you, Mayor, for the opportunity of that. And I was presented with a commemorative coin, if you guys would pass that to the mayor. And I would love to present you with that commemorative coin.
Thank you,
Sir, thank you so much for that. The other thing I'd like to thank Chief Benton and his staff. On last evening, the Forest Park Community Center had their community meeting. We have had some issues in that area with shots fired. Last night, 10 of our men from the Joliet Police Department, from deputy chiefs all the way down to our regular officers, came out, answered the residents' questions, told them what they had been doing, and it was just a show of support. We also got a great support from the community who vowed to assist the police in doing their job. So we were excited about that, Chief. We know that community policing works. And so we are all in with you, sir, and your force. So we thank you for that. And please congratulate the men that put their lives on the line for us every day. And Mayor, you're going to be quite a busy guy on June 4th. The mayor has the honor of being the keynote speaker for the Forest Park Community Center Early Learning 5-year-olds. Will be graduating that morning.
It's a tough crowd.
Yeah, that's a tough crowd. And so their cap and gown ceremony will be held in the community park. We have been working on the park for the last 3 years, so we've got the new pavilion in and the new basketball court, so we will be cutting the ribbon that day as well. So come out, city. Help us celebrate and enjoy that. And Mr. Henry, I'd love to talk to you about the program that you're going to be starting. Thank you so much, Mayor.
Thank you.
No comment, Chairman.
Councilwoman, just from what I understand, you know, when he's the guest speaker there at the community center, don't ask him to throw a ball out. Just a couple of quick things. Happy birthday to my fellow councilman, Jim McFarland, which turned 21 today, Jim.
In holding.
And then I just wanted to also wish a happy birthday, friend of all of us up here, mayoral appointment. He shares a birthday with the councilman, Mr. George Hernandez, retired Joliet police officer, retired with distinction, friend to all of us, and serves on the mayor's police and fire board. He shares a birthday with you as well. And then just make mention, for what it's worth, that Joliet's World War II community got one person shorter over the weekend. My aunt's uncle passed away on Saturday. He served in World War II in the Army in the European Front theater, mainly in France, and he passed away quietly at 94 Saturday.
Mayor, I would just like to also wish a happy birthday to Councilman Hugg, who's 39 and holding.
I didn't want nobody to know I share a birthday with you, Councilman.
Happy birthday. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Birthday.
Happy birthday, Larry, Jim. I'd just like to thank the mayor and my fellow council people, the city staff. The mayor and I was at a graduation ceremony. Councilwoman Gavin was out of town, and I'm not sure where Mr. Alfredo was, but he was Reverend Heath. If you all remember, he came before us some time ago, Redeemed Ministries, with the young men that he wanted to bring in and do the lawn mowing trade. And he had 7, was it, Mayor? I think
Yes.
6 or 7 young men about a week or so ago, and they had a graduation ceremony for them that completed the course that Reverend Heath with Redeemed Ministry had set up. But it was a lot of it, the city played a part in helping him with that. And he was really grateful, you know, to us. So I just like to mention that again. And I'm sure in the near future, he'll probably personally come before us, and you should have just heard some of the stories of the young men of what they were doing before they was brought into that. One of the young men's mother actually was the reason that he got into this program with Reverend Heath. So again, I just like to thank the mayor and my fellow council people and Alfredo and his staff for working with Reverend Heath to get that program first year. Yeah. Thank you.
And jobs added too, jobs created.
Oh, my turn. First of all, I'd like to wish my husband, 1 week from today, we share an anniversary with the Rialto, who's going to be 90, which is next Tuesday, and I'm sure the mayor will make an announcement about that, but we'll be married 36 years, so thank you so much for everything you do for me and the family, because without you, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. So thank you so much to my wonderful husband. And we'd like to also, my husband and I would like to congratulate our niece Katie, who left Western Illinois with a 4.0 average, all areas. So we're very, very proud of her. So love you too, Katie.
Nothing, Your Honor.
A few items. Number one, Councilwoman Coleman's right. The Rialto is turning 90 years old. There's a big celebration planned next week. We're looking forward to it. I can tell the council that working with the Rialto and individuals surrounding the Rialto continues. I've met with some other third-party individuals as well as people on the foundation board and on their executive board trying to work through the Rialto's problems. So hopefully there's some positive news to report in the near future regarding the theater. Number two, I was out at Joliet Commonwealth Edison today for a ribbon cutting this morning. They're expanding their footprint here in Joliet. It's a very impressive facility, and I want to thank ComEd for the good work that they do. And they also, that they've hired 30 new people in this Joliet area in the last couple of years. So again, thank you to ComEd for their commitment to Joliet. Number two, yesterday evening prior to the meeting at Dirksen Junior High, I attended the STEM reception and awards. It was an award ceremony to single out some of the students throughout our Joliet grammar schools and the teachers. It was very impressive, some of the work that was done, the robotics classes. We have grammar school students in Joliet that have designed a prosthetic hand, and they've also set up a company to sell the hand, and they plan on doing more for younger people, for children. I was actually blown away that grammar school kids are able to do this. So big congratulations to them, the hard work they've done, and to the teachers and staff in our Joliet schools that are making these things happen. A couple weeks ago, Rabbi Rubowitz at the Joliet Jewish congregation invited me to their Holocaust remembrance ceremony. It was a very touching ceremony. The rabbi's wife spoke publicly. She was a Holocaust survivor. Her family was from Poland. They moved to France and survived the war in France, basically living in hiding. It was a very moving ceremony, but thank you to the rabbi. Last Saturday, or at the Cantigny Post VFW, there was a ribbon cutting. Councilman Hugg and Councilman McFarland, you were part of this ceremony for Cantigny Post and for our veterans. And I want to thank the local trade unions that dedicated their time to helping rebuild the stairs and the front stoop of the Cantigny Post. It was a great example of the community coming together. So congratulations to them. Thank you to the councilman that helped put that together. And then finally, Sunday, I was lucky enough to attend the St. Joe's 125th anniversary mass, and Father Tim, it was a great ceremony. The whole family was there, and even the young kids liked it, which is, I've never seen that for an hour and a half mass, but it was a great time. So thank you, congratulations to St. Joe's, and that's all I have for tonight.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting adjourned.